What's up, wrestling fans? You're right here at WrestlingRumors.net. That's right, Wrestling Warm-Up is here. It is live, and we are back in the saddle yet again. 2 weeks off. You didn't think that was going to squander our fire. No. It just threw a bunch of fuel right on top of it. Now we're blazing, baby. We're red hot. I was at the beach on vacation last week. That's why you didn't get to see me. Everybody else was doing some work. I know John got called in and Walter got called in, so there was it only been Adam, but you got to see Adam and Sam after Raw went off the air. So hope you enjoyed that, and of course, everything that we do for you guys is for you guys. So we're back tonight, wrestling warm up. We've got to talk about Raw and all that good stuff, but I know this is just something that we saw right before we started. There's some news, of course. There was a pay-per-view last night with TNA held their annual Slammiversary. It's the only pay-per-view they're doing the entire year, which is now par for the course for them. They do one pay-per-view a year. The rest of them they tape all out and use as TV specials because it's TNA. F it, why not? That's how they do things. But on the same page, they had this pay-per-view where there was some controversy last week. During the live to tape horse crap that they did during the tapings, which we all we reported on, everybody reported on. We were getting pictures sent to us from the tapings with Jeff Jarrett coming out and shooting with his wife Karen in a promo that could go down as one of the better promos I've ever listened to from the man. It was very genuine, and of course we all know the most genuine things turn out to be the best things. So especially in the world of wrestling, when everything is a work. And we'll get to another big work that was revealed to be a work today that's been called a shoot for the last 13 years. But we just want to talk about TNA for a second, because now you have this guy who owns part of the company, but was kicked in the butt out the door of TNA when he was trying to regain complete ownership of it from the Carters. And he got to shoot a little bit on that. Of course, Kurt Angle had no idea they were even going to be there and working with things. I think it's like, I feel for Kurt, and I wish Kurt a speedy recovery from the neck tumor that he's having surgery on. At the same time, like, it's super convenient that Kurt's having a neck tumor now and surgery now when Jeff Jarrett's back, and there's all this stuff's about to happen because we just on Wrestling Observer Radio today, it was speculated from Dave Meltzer that TNA may be doing an invasion angle with Global Force Wrestling, that the guys that you've seen piecing out from TNA as of late. Your James Storm, Austin Aries is definitely leaving, but that's probably going to be for a whole different reason. But your James Storms, your Mickey James who's supposedly supposed to be dead. She got pushed into a train track. You have Magnus and all these other people like Awesome Kong and Taryn Terrell, like all these people leaving, and they're jumping ship for Global Force Wrestling, or at least we know that Magnus is. We're assuming James Storm is as well. These people that are leaving for Global Force Wrestling, there's an angle coming, and John, you actually watched Slammiversary live. I didn't get to watch it live. I was heading back from vacation. But tell me what your thoughts are here, Johnny boy. We got TNA and TFW mixing it up. Blue
Doug,
Rose, Green Rose.
I messaged our group at 6:45 in the morning because I was standing there in the shower getting ready for work, and I'm going through everything in my head. And I'm trying to wrap myself around everything that is going on in TNA right now. And I cannot fathom that this is actually going to happen. And let me divulge here, because I know people are going to attack me for saying, oh, TNA. Look, TNA right now may be putting on the best in-ring product in all professional wrestling. And I really mean that genuinely. Slammiversary, from a wrestling perspective, was phenomenal. Even though I'm not a fan of the King of the Mountain match, I think it's a stupid concept and a dumb gimmick. But the wrestling was great. Impact last week, wrestling was fantastic. It was awesome. With all of that said, with all of this Jeff Jarrett stuff, the reason they're clearly going to run this invasion angle, and I mean, if any of you watched Slammiversary, the show went off the air with Josh Matthews saying, what does this mean for the future of GFW? So there you go. There's your tip of the cap that something's going to go down. Invasion angles help no one. Now, they're probably thinking, oh, this is going to be great cross-promotion. TNA is going to get this little hot product that people are talking about. TNA's name's going to be mentioned with it. It'll be great for TNA, and on GFW's thing, this will give GFW leverage to get a TV deal. In an invasion angle, someone has to lose. And that does not benefit either of these companies right now, because both of these companies need to win. Now, GFW doesn't have a TV deal. GFW doesn't have any established mainstay names outside of the Young Bucks. You need a main big single star to take a promotion to the top.
What about Justin Gabriel?
Chris Masters. Chris Masters. Nothing against Chris Masters, but Chris Masters.
It's the masterpiece.
Is their top singles talent. Okay, I mean, this doesn't benefit anyone. You know, in WWE, at least when you had WCW and ECW invading, those were household names. The common wrestling fan doesn't know what GFW is. And what about Jeff Jarrett investing the last 2 years of his life into this? Says, I'm going to take my TNA Hall of Fame induction, and I'm going to win this King of the Mountain belt, and I'm going to put my promotion on it, and then I think people will care about it, even though I don't have a TV deal. And there's not going to be any promotion on my end because I don't have a place that I can physically promote TNA. Correct. It doesn't make sense to me, Doug. I've been trying to play this out all day long, and I can't validate this. People are saying it's good for the business to cross promotion, but someone has to lose here. And neither of these companies can afford to lose on television. They can't. Adam, what do you think?
I mean, I think it's lose-lose just because if you would have told us 2 years ago this is what Global Force was going to become anyway towards the end and intertwined back in with TNA, we would have laughed Jeff Jarrett off the planet. At the same time, TNA looks so weak right now that it's almost like they have to succumb to Global Force Wrestling, who, like you said, doesn't even have a TV deal. Most people don't even know who the hell they are. So now they have to, basically work, hand in hand with a man that they didn't want. It's almost, if this was satire, this would be hysterical. If this was actually a storyline, then it would make more sense. This seems like TNA has turned into a satirical take on what professional wrestling is. It's like a work on a work.
It's kayfabe news.
And people will say, oh, this is what WWE did with ECW back in '97. No, this is not what happened. WWE was an established product and had competition at the time. TNA doesn't have competition outside of Ring of Honor on its own station. Ring of Honor is still not legitimate competition yet, and GFW is not remotely established. There's no. Why do I care if Magnus is invading his own promotion? It doesn't make sense.
John, another good point too is I think ECW back in the late '90s. More people, it had a bigger following than absolutely Global Force Wrestling, but I would argue that the ECW fans were much more passionate about...
And Adams, ECW had an identity. GFW's identity, what we've seen so far, because it's too early to even say it has an identity, but what we've seen so far is TNA 2.0. TNA 2.0 on a baseball field.
They're on home plate. They don't have major promotion. They're on home plate in a minor league baseball stadiums. So while it benefits them completely, to a certain extent, it does nothing for TNA, except, the only thing that we're not taking into consideration here, I'm just going to play devil's advocate, is if TNA knows for daggum sure they're done. They know that TV deal went out the frickin' door already. Destination America has already said, look, it's done. September is when it's going to happen. We will be absolutely through with you. We've canceled all your other TV programs. This is the only one that's still left. You have one more set of TV tapings that they're literally going to take. They're literally going to tape multiple months of TV in a 2 to 3 week span of time in July. Like they're going to tape months of TV.
Well, they've already taped a significant amount.
Yeah, no, they've taped up to. They have some tonight. They have some tapings tonight.
They're into late July now.
Yeah, they're into late July. And in July they're going to tape until September. So they're not doing any tapings in August or September for their deal. I think if this is the case where they know for sure they're going to be done in September, then, you know, with Jeff Jarrett's recent tweets before his appearance during Impact last week, where it's in the hands of legal, we're waiting to hear back. We don't know what's going to happen. You know, stay tuned for exciting things going down. Blah blah blah. This could literally lead to, honestly, if Toby Keith and Jeff Jarrett finally put the right price tag on it, and the Carters agreed to, this could be Jeff Jarrett buying TNA back in full,
and putting it on a new network.
And this could be the invasion leading up to GFW's taking over TNA completely.
Doug, the only thing I want to say is, with the exception of what you just said, how Jeff Jarrett would go and then rebuy TNA, do you really think this even benefits Global Force Wrestling by any stretch of the imagination?
It gets GFW promotion.
Right.
Because GFW doesn't have TV, and if it's going to benefit anyone, it benefits GFW more than it does TNA, but the problem is GFW doesn't have television, it doesn't have established stars, and it just, to me, again, someone has to lose, and you can't tell me that GFW is going to come into TNA programming and win the end of this feud, unless Jarrett were to come out on top and be like, hey, we're merging, and it's still going to stay TNA. GFW was like just a thing. And
no, I still think GFW becomes the new brand.
Maybe that is the new brand, and maybe because TNA does have a negative stigma to a lot of people. Here's what I want to add also. I want to rip TNA on this. And I'm not trying to rip TNA for the sake of ripping TNA, because I try to be an optimist with this stuff.
That's easy.
Because the matches, like I said, last night, generally speaking, were all very good.
I did watch the Aries Davey match.
And I mean, as you saw, the stipulation that they came up with for the final of the best of 5 between the Dirty Heels and the Wolves is a 30-minute Iron Man match.
Right.
Which they taped already, and everyone said was awesome.
Right.
So here's my problem with that. You're going to make people pay $50 for a pay-per-view, which they did last night, that A, doesn't feature your world title on defense.
Right.
And B, you have already taped weeks of television after that a lot of people can already put together the pieces to what's going to happen on the pay-per-view.
Correct.
What kind of business is that?
It's not. They're literally, honestly, this is, I'm just saying, because this is where we are with this promotion. It's not about business at this point. It's about getting to the end. It's about making it across the finish line for them. And
I want to bring this up because Acer tweeted this at us, and I've thought about this too. If TNA loses its American deal, what does it mean about the foreign TV deals it has?
Correct.
And TNA, generally speaking, actually does pretty well internationally. In some markets, you could argue they might be bigger than WWE, but they claim they are at least. But
they claim they are in the UK, but they just lost their Australia deal.
With that said, the majority of the money is coming through the American television deal. So you lose the American television deal, then the others fall.
Well, they can't put on. They're not doing live shows anyway.
Right, and
they're only doing tapings.
It costs so much money to tape internationally that it doesn't make sense.
No, and the biggest issue with them right now is they're not running house shows. They're not running any live events whatsoever, and the tours that they had planned, they canceled because they can't afford to run them. Like in the one in China, it's done. They have one in the UK, and that's it. Like that's all they're doing. And that's an issue, man. You lose that TV money in September, you are not a company anymore because that's the only thing keeping you afloat.
And I gotta say this too. I would not be surprised if Jeff Jarrett does try to do some international tapings for GFW if it does land a TV deal. There seems to be this whole big thing on global branding. We remember Jeff Jarrett was the one behind Ring Ka King, which Ring Ka King, I don't know if you guys saw any of the episodes, was pretty decent. They did a really nice job with it, and the presentation was exceptional. This is bad business, man. It's bad business. And, you could come at us and say, oh, you don't know anything about the wrestling business, and you're not in it. I'm not even talking about the wrestling business. It's bad business to do that to your consumers, to the people who buy your product, to the people who do invest in this. This whole Ethan Carter III thing, they built that up for 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
2 years! And it doesn't even happen on a live pay-per-view. Your main pay-per-view of the year.
The only pay-per-view of the year.
Are they not doing Bound for Glory?
I doubt it. The reports
okay. I thought it was Slammiversary and Bound for Glory, but regardless, it's one of two or one.
That we've reported it all year. They're doing one.
Yeah. So there you go. Go ahead, Adam. I'm sorry, I'm hogging all this.
About you talking about how they're treating other. Think about how they're even treating their best employees, i.e., Kurt Angle, who just shows up and his ex-wife and his kids are there. That's like you would give one of your boys, if you're having a party, that kind of look like, hey, your ex and your kids might be here. You just know before you get here, and they can't do that for this man when he's going to work. Knowing or not knowing what his medical condition was at the time. I wouldn't do that to my worst enemy, let alone who's the man who you're supposed to build your company around. It's horrible, horrible, horrible business. Horrible.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what we're talking about more than anything right now. Is just the business is bad. Just bad. Just the way that they're handling things is bad. And maybe again, the only payoff that we can see from an invasion is Jeff Jarrett buying it outright and rebranding it and relaunching it and seeing what happens. But that would mean he would take that time slot as well, obviously.
I mean, Doug, we talked about before the show. This GFW thing could very well just be a Hail Mary by TNA too.
Absolutely.
Where they're like, right now, Destination America is having its final meetings on saying, okay, we're going to figure out for sure what we're going to do. Tell us what you've got planned going forward. And they say, oh, we're going to do this big invasion angle. It's going to be great cross-promotion. You've already got Ring of Honor leading us into this. You're going to have 3 wrestling promotions all in one night, essentially, and fans are going to watch this. And you know what? Fans might watch it for a little bit. And you know what? For the sake of the industry, I hope it works out and TNA extends and everything's okay. But I just...
Hey, when all else fails, bring in Vader, right?
Right. Bring
in the Mastodon in gym clothes.
He was in gym clothes.
He was in a cut-off tee and sweatpants, John. Cut off. He's got a brand new mask that he wore at Raw. Like a year and a half ago?
Not even gym pants. They were like windbreaker pants.
They were snap-offs, basically. At any point, we could have seen the Mastodon. At any point in time, we could have accidentally seen the Mastodon. But that's what's happening in TNA. They bring back in Matt Morgan for the show. They bring in Vader.
You're a fan of that.
Jarrett. What?
You're a fan of that, Matt Morgan.
I like Matt Morgan. He's a down dude. We had a really good conversation on this website a couple years ago. You could actually go back and check it out in the archives somewhere. Really cool dude. It's really weird, like knowing that as a 15, 16-year-old kid, I watched him on Tough Enough, and then actually getting to sit down and talk to the guy for a few hours was pretty sick. And of course, at that point, he was trying to tease us like he was going back to WWE, and that worked out.
And there's one more thing I want to add about TNA because Ed just tweeted at me. He said, "What do you think of the long-term prospects of Ethan Carter III?" If you were to tell me that Derek freaking Bateman,
right,
who accepted an interview request from us the day after he was released, by the way, but it just didn't work out.
Right? Yeah. He was going to shoot, too, brother.
He was going to. If you were to tell me that Derek Bateman was going to be the world champion in another promotion, regardless of what it was, I wouldn't believe it. He's got a great look now. Yeah. He's done a great job. He's improved tremendously in the ring. He really has done a nice job. It brings me back to the point of you have King of the Mountain last night. Drew Galloway, who he was handed to you on a silver platter. Platter.
He's the chosen one, man.
And he doesn't win King of the Mountain?
Dude, I'm telling you, the whole point of King of the Mountain is for Jarrett. It's all for Jarrett.
Well, yeah, obviously.
That was all a shoot.
It's the one thing that TNA...
And the invasion's happening.
It's the one thing TNA has just been horrific at, and it is building young talent to be main eventers.
But look at the history of who runs.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said all throughout their history.
That's happened always.
It's WCW 2.0.
And you got guys like Vince Russo, who's jaded to the beyond belief at this point, and is just really hard to even talk to or comprehend what he's trying to put out there. But he was even offering free booking and free just trying to help him for free. And because he just called them dumb because they're not attached to Spike TV anymore. Destination America didn't have a clause where he can't be helping them, and he's trying to do it for free, and they're dumb enough to try. And I'm not saying Vince Russo can save a company because I don't think that he could, but at the same time, this guy, at least he does know how to book a show. And you got people back there that think they can book a show. They don't have any idea what they're supposed to be doing. I don't know. We've literally, for the first time ever on this show, talked about TNA for 21 minutes. I'm impressed. Maybe that's what they wanted. Maybe that's what they wanted from you, John.
We should be talking about TNA. You know, they should be giving us reason to cover more than just WWE. But
they don't on a consistent basis. And we're talking about it negatively.
Go watch the Dirty Heels. Watch every single match they do, and you'll be happy.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you, Austin Aries and Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode's probably the only one out of the entire roster that I can first literally see in a WWE ring. And we've talked.
Well, we like Gunner. We like Gunner.
I like Gunner. Gunner's got the look. He's really good. I've seen him plenty of times. Like when I lived in Columbia and went to indie shows and helped run some things there. Gunner was there all the time. Gunner, Magnus was there a good bit. Bram was there a good bit. Gallows was there a good bit. These were guys that, I mean, this was 2010, 2011. So that was cool. They're really, like, Gunner's, he's got an incredible work ethic. I could see it. I just don't see it as much as Bobby Roode. And they're both going to go, I mean, the thing is, I could see they're both going to go to NXT, period, because they got to learn WWE ways of doing things. But Gunner versus Baron Corbin, you got to think like that looks like an awesome matchup on paper.
End of days, baby.
And you got to think that they would put Baron Corbin over him because they've been building Baron Corbin up to be this monster. But Baron Corbin can't go more than 6 minutes, or it's bad.
As long as he keeps end the days, man.
That's the thing. Gunner's the same size, like the similar size, better build, good on the microphone. We haven't seen that many great things from Corbin on the microphone yet. Gunner's the same size, better build, and can work long. Like he can go 30 minutes and do a good match. So I'm hoping that these guys can go to NXT and kind of, while they're learning the WWE ways of doing things, they can help mold these new guys like Baron Corbin into a Gunner. Like, I mean, they're kind of very similar. You need that, but you need that wisdom of somebody that's been doing it for much longer, because Corbin's still very green. And try to mold him into something that's usable. I don't know. You guys see anybody else other than Gunner or Roode heading over to WWE?
I know Adam wants Kong, but first off, that was a whole other mess because Kong just flat out denied, like straight up, and Bob Ryder too, like aggressively denied that she was leaving. I know Adam, you said you think she's got unfinished business.
Yeah, I'd like to see her back, but I'd actually like to see Galloway back. I think as soon as Galloway left WWE, he showed everybody, what he was made of, and I think he was the one guy they really dropped the ball. I mean, I know he was in some heat. There was heat on her backstage, and I get all that, but at what point was it going to go away until they just finally cut the strings? Because, I mean, he's great. He's a great talent. I don't know how they, especially right now, how you can't say that they couldn't use a guy like Drew Galloway or, Drew McIntyre.
No.
No?
I have to disagree. I think Drew Galloway can do a lot better in your Ring of Honors, in your GFWs, in your TNAs, in your indie promotions, and make more money.
He's got the indie...
It's not even about. It's just like there are certain guys that are mid card for life in WWE, and he's one. Period. I don't care if he comes back after having success somewhere else. He's mid card for life.
With that said, I think if NXT had been around when he was coming up, he would have been a main eventer.
In NXT,
I think if NXT had given him the proper backing, if that makes sense, the support. I think he could have been a main eventer, but I agree with you. I think he reached his ceiling. I think he totally reached his ceiling in WWE.
Absolutely, and I'll disagree with you there, because even looking at the example of Neville at this point, the machine's behind him, trying to get him as a name out there. I don't see, unless they do some kind of David versus Goliath thing at some point with him versus a huge guy in a main event spot, he'll never be a main event.
The World Heavyweight title would have been great for Neville with how that was situated, like a Rey Mysterio kind of.
Yeah, but we don't need it when we have the IC title. It needs to be IC all day.
Right, absolutely. So my point is that he probably won't be a world champion, but
The only way Neville ever gets into a WWE World Heavyweight Championship picture ever is if they do a David versus Goliath angle. Period.
With him and Big Show.
Period. And that will never happen because Big Show's never touching that title again. Which leads us to Big Show.
Hey, October's right around the corner, man.
Which leads us to Big Show. This guy, this South Carolinian right here, fellow South Carolinian, this guy, for 12 years, I've seen so many, and I had to tell you guys this when I actually listened to it because I was like, this is the most ridiculous thing. Even Sports Illustrated picked it up. Big Show has lied, straight-faced, through his teeth, looking at you eyeball to eyeball. It's a work. You know, like wrestling is a work, so you got to learn how to lie very well. Has lied like it's a shoot for 12 years, 13 years. Since his 12 years, since that suplex off the top that broke the ring with him and Brock Lesnar. Brock, the officials, Vince, everyone in the back, everyone has said that was a shoot. The ring broke. We didn't expect that. That's a holy crap moment. Like that's like one of the biggest moments in SmackDown history. The ring broke because of 1,000 pounds hitting the mat between Big Show, Brock Lesnar, blah blah blah. You know, like this has literally been what they've said forever. Big Show goes on Talk Is Jericho and sets it straight. It was a work. They had the ring on airbags, just like they did with Mark Henry.
Exactly.
Big Show.
It was believable as a shoot until they did it again at Vengeance.
Right.
And you're like,
I cannot wrap my mind around why they did it again. Why they ever did it again? And then they put it in the video game like, hey.
And they never noted the Lesnar stuff.
No, because they never thought Lesnar was coming back, so they were going to try to erase that Big Show Lesnar moment and say, okay, well Henry and Show, that's the oh crap moment, you know, as far as the ring breaking. It literally fell exactly the same way, and everybody was going, okay, like, you know, for that was what, 2009? 2011. So you literally have 8 years, dude.
It was plausible.
8 years without that happening, and you're like, dude, you remember when Brock Lesnar suplexed Big Show's like 520-pound ass off that top? Because at that point he was probably one of the fattest modes he's ever been in his career. And then because Lesnar wasn't coming back, they tried to squash it and say, okay, Henry did it, not Lesnar. And it just, at that point, everybody's going, okay, come on. And that's really when people started asking Show in interviews over and over again, like, are you sure it was are you sure it's a shoot? Like, are you sure you didn't work it? Because that one looked a lot more like organized chaos, like organized, you know, demolition. That one looked a lot more easygoing and not as crazy. It's a work. It's all a work. Which honestly today, and that's why I had to joke with Frank. Of course, there's always been speculation about the Bret Hart Montreal Screwjob. Was Bret Hart in on it? At some point was he going to come back from WCW and make a lot of money with WWF? Was it a work, or was it a shoot? And of course, everybody's going to say it's a shoot. But I love just messing with Frank so hard about it possibly being a work. Because that's Frank's boy, and he wants loyalty to the death on Bret Hart. But I mean, honestly, when you look at these things, and people say for years, I mean, you're talking about 13 years saying, "Hey, you know what? That ring broke because we're fat," and then it's a work. You finally admit to it, and you actually explain how they did it. So now anybody can do it. Anything's a work, people. Anything and everything in this business is a work.
Still real to me, damn it.
Now I love the fact, yeah, still real to me. Still real. Yeah, I mean, and Ed brings up a good, yeah. The second time with Henry and Show is them kind of trying to rewrite history like WWE is never.
The cool thing was about the second time they did it was there was a match after it.
Right.
And they ran the championship match between, I think it was Del Rio and Cena, with the ring like half capsized,
Right.
which was pretty cool. We had never seen that before.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean nothing.
Oh, I mean, in the spectrum of this, it means nothing.
Yeah, I know.
It was just unique that they did it. Adam's like, dude, that was all about Punk, man.
That was the timeline of Punk. Which, happy
4 years.
Happy Pipe Bomb Day last week there, Adam. I was on vacation. Didn't get to say
Adam's like, it wasn't the real pipe bomb.
It wasn't. I guess it wasn't.
No, it is what it is, man. I just thought that was interesting that he finally admitted that was a work instead of a shoot, because I've listened to his interviews so many times where he's just, I mean, literally, just straight face. No, I'm telling you, that ring broke because I'm fat.
I think maybe I'm so quiet on this because I'm surprised anybody even ever believed the fact that it wasn't, or that it was a shoot, that it wasn't a work from the beginning.
It was the only time that's ever happened, and it lasted 8 years.
And I got to tell you, the way Taz sold it was fantastic. And the referee,
one of the only good Taz calls.
Never in a million years. I from day one. That's why I never thought twice about it. I just assumed it was a work from day one. I never heard any of the interviews. That's why I was like, I can't believe this was like, I don't know. I'm surprised people are surprised, I guess. I don't know.
It's not a surprise that it's a work. Everything can be a work. That's why you got to take everything with a grain of salt in this business. At the same time, I mean, that's like me as a 6-year-old learning that the Andersons aren't really cousins. I thought they were forever, right? No, but like, and for those of you who are just now watching wrestling, the Ole, Gene, Arn, like the Andersons, they're not related at all.
Son of a gun.
It's still real to us, though. But at the same time, it's like, that moment had so much disbelief wrapped around it. Like it was one of those moments where you check out and go, "Holy crap! Was that real? Did that happen?" And then you hear everybody saying, "Yeah, it legitimately happened." You're like, "Oh, okay, so I'll kind of buy that it happened." And then you see Henry do it, and you're like, oh, "Okay, now that one was rigged. Was the other one rigged?" And that's where all the speculation on it came. But it is what it is. Show will be on Raw tonight. You can take that for what it is. In an interesting triple threat feud that's happening, and there's a pay-per-view coming in 2 weeks or whatever. Yeah, I mean, we can talk about that in a minute, but Raw tonight, the main event, and I immediately put my hand on top of my face, is Kane. And
that BuzzFeed article, man.
Kane is main eventing tonight as
in slacks
with a tag team partner of the World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins, because the Authority's back together and Jamie Noble has broken ribs. Which, if you caught that, I guess we need to talk about this. I wasn't on a review or a reaction show last week. John, neither were you. Raw last week had me like literally falling asleep the entire time. We could talk. I'm on vacation. My wife and I are kicked up. We're watching. I'm trying to live tweet. I maybe tweeted the first segment and the last segment. I was so bored the entire episode that I literally had to just keep like getting up and walking around and moving around. It was bad. And I read and write on Tuesday that Triple H was the one behind it all, because Vince and Kevin Dunn were gone. Was he on a short leash or what, dude? That Raw put me to absolute, like...
All the focus was on Tough Enough last week. All the focus was on Tough Enough. Which I didn't even watch. I couldn't watch it, and I haven't watched it since.
Yeah, I heard that my boy from South Carolina was a butthole, but that he's probably the front runner. He literally lives 30 minutes away from me. And
Did you watch Tough Enough, Adam?
He fights with Anthony. Yeah.
No, I caught the last 5 minutes. Paige just cussing somebody out because I guess one of the contestants said that he was, I guess, tougher than all the rest of the men there, and the women weren't a problem or something. Or I don't know exactly what he said, but Paige was just basically tearing him a new one, saying that what women can't be as tough as men. I completely forgot it was on. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not really that hyped up for this season.
How did you forget? It was all that they showed Monday night. previews. Between that, it was
On
Authority.
vacation, so I'm enjoying vacation.
It was Authority and Tough Enough, and I got a 15-minute segment between John Cena and Kevin Owens, which was okay.
You know what though, and it was okay. I'm worried that they're resorting to the same promo every week though.
Well, they're having to at this point. That's all they're giving him. I need Owens to go in and beat the ever-loving holy crap out of John Cena this week. I need a massacre. I need a massacre this week to get reinterested in this feud after last week. It was okay. They didn't do anything to help sell the match outside of Cena saying, okay, guess what? U.S. title's on the line. Okay, Kevin Owens should be coming out and throwing everybody off the stage.
Cena should do an open challenge tonight, and Owens should disrupt it and just dominate.
Absolutely. And you probably just booked it. Now, I do want to talk about this before we get deep into. P. don't worry about that. Finn Balor's winning the NXT Championship on Saturday. You can go to the bank on that prediction right there.
Oh, Jesus, that's Saturday. Holy crap!
It's Saturday at 5:30 a.m. Eastern Time.
Yeah. Beast in the East.
4th of July, gonna be up at 5. It's gonna be awesome. Thanks, WWE, and for all those that have been tweeting us, you don't have to watch it live. Some of us have to do reporting on stuff. Yes, we do. Don't worry. I will already have actually. I've already gotten part of it written, but there will be a full story on Finn Balor winning the NXT Championship. Already ready for me just to go publish in my sleepy haze while I'm watching it happen. No, that's definitely happening. They have been running Balor Arrives promos through every NXT show. On WWE Network or WWE.com even, they're showing like all these interviews and background stories on Finn Balor, showing you who Fergal Devitt was in New Japan and everywhere else that he's worked. I mean, they've gotten they've had to go buy tapes of it so they can show it, so they can pump you up and let you know who this guy is that they're putting the NXT Championship on during a live special on 4th of July. So just go ahead and rest assured, he's taking the NXT Championship on Saturday, and John Cena is probably going to drop the U.S. title to Kevin Owens.
And he's going to do it by stomping on Kevin Owens' big old belly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because it's true.
Yeah. That finish is terrible. And we can talk about that all day, but we don't have all day. Let's talk about one thing, because I started talking about it in the chat, and then I was like, we'll just talk about it on the show. It's been how many weeks? 4 weeks since Dusty Rhodes died?
4 weeks.
4 weeks. And we haven't seen Stardust, who they were going to run an angle with Arrow, Mr. Stephen Amell, at SummerSlam, where we're going to be, John. And it seemed pretty cool that they were going to do some cross-promotion, get some TV, cross-promoting, where people that watch Arrow that may not watch wrestling are going to see this and try to, and tune in to see their boy face this weird comic book villain-looking guy. I mean, let's be honest. Stardust wears a Mr. Sinister cape to the ring, so it makes sense, whether you like it or not. Wrestling's since the 80s has always been about cross-promoting like this. It brings in viewership. I dig it. I understand. I've seen a lot of people say Stardust should just go back to being Cody Rhodes in honor of his father, and do a new angle as Cody. We know that firings are probably going to be coming up soon. I don't think Cody's going to be one that gets fired.
No way.
I think he's an excellent mid-carder. I think if he gets another shot as Intercontinental Champion and can run in that crowd for a while, he's excellent in that role. I'm very surprised that Dolph Ziggler re-signed a multi-year contract.
Well, today he said he didn't re-sign.
I know. I don't know. We'll see if that's true or not.
By the way, side note before you finish talking, they just made the Raw main event a no DQ match. So
okay, so it's no DQ. With Kane and Rollins facing Ambrose and Reigns. I can only imagine what that means with Bray Wyatt and Joey Mercury and everybody else getting involved.
And that Lesnar guy. Is Lesnar booked for tonight?
Lesnar is booked for...
Okay. No.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll find out. Anyway, continue, please.
No, hang on. I can tell you straight up. He was supposed to be on every Raw leading into Battleground, and then he's on 2 leading into SummerSlam, I do believe. Let me look here. Multitasking is awesome. What I would say about Stardust, the guy is awesome. Period. I don't know if you have a chance. Anybody that's out there, watching this show, go YouTube Stardust interviews and YouTube Stardust promos that you probably haven't watched in forever. Watch them in succession, and then get back at me and tell me that he's not awesome. If you tell me that he's not awesome, I'll tell you you're freaking stupid, and you may be mentally handicapped, and I'll send Tommy over with a tack camera and he'll hit you in the head because you're retarded. I can't get enough of the guy as this character. I think he does awesome. Everything from, like, you want to talk about someone that plays the character this well. I mean, his dad's Dusty Rhodes, so he's learned from the best, right? You play the character to its death. His brother's Goldust. He plays the character to its death. This guy has everything from his own little hand thing that he does with people where he touches their finger down to a T. This guy is awesome as Stardust. I don't know if I want to see him shed the Stardust gimmick, but I'm afraid of what they're going to do here because I feel like they've kept him off TV. Obviously, he had to have had a mourning period. I'm not saying that he should rush and come back after having a mourning period of losing your father. And obviously they were super close. Not saying that at all. But now it's been 4 weeks. If they continue to hold him off until after SummerSlam, I feel like he's going to lose a lot of steam. He was kind of in the IC title picture there for a while. And then they were going to do the Stephen Amell thing, and he was going to be back in the IC title picture. Guys, where do you see Stardust? Do you see him shedding the gimmick and becoming Cody Rhodes in honor of his father? Do you think that they are holding him off on purpose so that the memory of Dusty Rhodes' death can leave, so they're not having to worry about pushing him? Because after Dusty died, everyone on social media was like, push Cody, push Cody, push Cody, because Dusty died, and that's no reason to push somebody. His natural talent should be why they push him. But what do you guys think about this? Do you think we're going to see Stardust tonight? Do you think we see him after SummerSlam? What do you think?
Adam?
Honestly, I think at this point, I thought the Stardust gimmick was going to run to SummerSlam, then maybe fizzle out past that anyway. I didn't really know how long they were going to keep it on him. I like Stardust a lot. He grew on me, I just don't know for the longevity of Cody Rhodes if it's, because he's going to be stuck as like the mid-card guy that doesn't ever really hold a championship or anything.
He's always going to be the mid-card guy.
No, I get that, but I mean, he could hold a mid-card title, I think, if he was just Cody Rhodes. Now, do I want him to? Do I think that's what they're doing? I don't know. I'm torn on this one. I'd rather him say Stardust at this point because he's one of the more interesting characters they have. I don't know. I really don't know. I think that maybe I'm hoping it's just Cody needs time to himself, and he's just taking maybe a couple weeks away, and then he'll be back.
Cody for me is such a polarizing figure because I've said it before. I'm not a huge fan of the Stardust gimmick, but not because of what Cody does with it, because of how this gimmick was booked. I don't think it allowed him to reach his potential with how it's been booked.
Agreed.
Because I think if you book the Stardust gimmick correctly, where you either do it as a super face or a super heel, it's going to work, but that middle ground doesn't. And they kind of put him in that purgatory of character, where 1 week he's doing like a face-ish kind of thing, the next week he's like acting super heel or not really heel. I didn't like that. For me, the two best Cody Rhodes characters were when he was when he was doing the masked deal, which was just at its pinnacle was just amazing, and it really looked like they were going to launch him into superstardom for a period of time.
Wow!
And then you're using my own medicine against me. And then my other favorite period, and I especially say this biasly because I was at Money in the Bank 2013, was when at Money in the Bank 2013 they changed him mid-match from heel to face, and he was riding the hottest babyface run he's had in his entire career.
You're right, it's not gonna be right.
And they ran that into the stuff at Battleground with Goldust and the Authority. And to me, at that point, I was like, oh, they might give him a main event face push. And then that just didn't happen. So I think when all's said and done, we have to remember this. Stardust is an homage to Dusty Rhodes when all is said and done.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in the end, that will remain the character. I would like to see Stardust come out, break character for a minute, be like, listen, this is who I am. I'm doing this for Dad. Go babyface. Go extreme with it. Get the moveset out there and push yourself towards the mid-card. Because I'll tell you what, I'd rather see him hold that Intercontinental Championship than Miz or Big Show.
Absolutely. And we said this from day one, dude. Freaking A. Cody Rhodes has such a spectacular moveset. The guy is ridiculous in the ring. Like, can do anything. The first finish he tried to use is Stardust, but he couldn't do it on everybody. There wasn't no way he would ever pull that off on Big Show. But that finish was absolutely outstanding. It blew me away the first time I ever saw it. Whoa! First time I ever saw it, I lost it and tweeted out, that's the sickest finish I've ever seen him do ever. And freaking hey. Okay, 3 weeks. Okay, that's cool. I didn't realize it'd only been that short of a time period. It'll be 3 weeks this Thursday. I thought it was 4 weeks ago. I literally, dude, I lost it and tweeted that's one of the sickest finishes I've ever seen in my life. And Natalya and Cody Rhodes retweeted it. Like that was, I guess he was so proud of that finish that he pulled off that he had to throw that out there.
But it was his like secret account, right?
Yeah, it was Prince CGR, of course. Yeah, unaffiliated with WWE, so he can actually tweet at WrestleRumors. Which is funny. And Natalya still does. Like, she just doesn't care, I guess. We're blacklisted for everybody else, but for Natalya, she's like, wow! I'll tweet him anyway. It's all smoke and mirrors. But it is what it is. Tonight on Raw, and Brock Lesnar's not scheduled to be there, P.S.,
okay.
To help you out on that retrospect. So I would assume that it would be more of the Authority and Bray Wyatt playing into things.
Hey, Sean the Dark, can we see Finn Balor tonight?
Possibly. It's very likely that we see Finn Balor tonight. I don't know about if we see him as the Demon.
No, you can't put him on Raw.
That's going to be the big thing on Saturday. But I could see Finn Balor tonight. Maybe he answers the U.S. Open Challenge. And that's where Kevin Owens comes in.
Would make sense.
Cheeky bastards. Yeah,
but John Cena can't wrestle, Doug.
John Cena can't wrestle.
I like John Cena the person, not the wrestler.
Not the wrestler. I mean, people don't know the BuzzFeed article that we're talking about. No, John Cena, the last two Kevin Owens matches have been awesome. Match of the Year candidate, at least the last one. But we've talked about this. But I swear on everything that's holy in the aura of wrestling.
And Doug's pretty holy, guys.
Springboard Stunner has got to freaking go. Gotta go. Got to go. Got to go. I agree with Stone Cold so much that, hey, the Stunner is supposed to be like the end-all be-all move at this point, right? The Stunner is holy at this in the aura of wrestling. Like, if Stone Cold kicked you in the stomach and hit you with the stunner, hit you with the stunner, you're done. You're done. There's no like you're only a certain number of people have to have 3, right? Now in the era of false finishes every freaking match, the stunner doesn't mean anything. Just like the AA doesn't mean anything, and the power bomb doesn't mean anything. These finishes don't mean jack anymore. I mean, Ziggler's going in between using the zigzag and a super kick every other daggum match because it doesn't matter. Whoa! So, literally, the Springboard Stunner has got to stop because it looks awful and someone's going to get freaking hurt. Period. That one 2 Mondays ago, when we didn't have a show last week for me to complain about it, but at the pay-per-view, blew my mind how bad it was. Like, blew my mind how awful it looked and how it looked like John Cena was going to throw his freaking back out. Why is he still doing that move? He's pulling out tons of moves. I mean, freaking tried to do a Canadian Destroyer. I can't hate on him trying things. He's trying to do new moves. That's awesome. At some point, he's going to wind up on Botchamania for falling through the ropes because he's going to try to hit that springboard, and his feet are going to go whoop right through, and his ass is going to hit the mat, go to the floor, and he's going to get hurt. Career hurt. Career done.
It's going to ruin the end of the match, too.
But it's just bad. It's just bad. It needs to stop. It needs to stop. It needs to stop. But I can totally see Finn Balor, to go with your point. Finn Balor answers the U.S. Open Challenge tonight with that sick music, hitting, U.S. Open Challenge, lights go out. We may see the Demon. It's Raw. He doesn't have to repaint. That would get Raw, that would get people on the internet going nuts if the Demon came out tonight, period. Like, if the lights went out, that heartbeat thumping, and then, whatever, blah, blah.
Where is Raw tonight?
Because
that matters, too.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't know.
Hey, side note, your boy Bo Dallas getting a rub from The Rock.
Bo Dallas is getting rubs from everybody. Bo Dallas, he's super entertaining. He's just not going to be anything more than a comic, a comedic act. He's taking, which is fine. I'm fine with that. He's not the best ring worker anyway, so I'm fine with it. He's good, but he replaced Santino Marella. Totally fine with that. Somebody need to be Santino. Adam Rose was not working. Put in Bo Dallas. He can come out there and own everybody. With his sarcastic tone, it always works. It was Bad News Barrett before Bad News Barrett. It's good. It needs to continue. And yeah, The Rock came in and wanted to do something with him. So big ups to The Rock for coming in and giving him a big fat rock bottom in the middle of the ring in Brooklyn. So we got Boston. That's right. You got the main event being that tag team match. Of course, shenanigans will awry. You've got John Cena likely doing an open challenge with Finn Balor and Kevin Owens interfering. Ryback and Big Show and Miz, who I still say Miz has become one of the better upper mid carders on the roster. The kid's just so good at entertaining me as a heel. Like, he's such a good heel. And I don't care what anybody says that they don't like the Miz. Good, he's doing his job. He's making you as annoyed as humanly possible, and that to me means he's working really hard and doing his job. I will say last week, and over the last 2 weeks, I've been very into the Bray Wyatt Roman Reigns thing. I want to know your guys' thoughts on this. I think Bray Wyatt's doing I think that the introduction of the picture and the creepier stuff, like the Room last week, covered in pictures with his eyes cut out and stuff. That was baller to me. The match was terrible leading up to it, but then you have Roman Reigns running back to the back, and then there's just a room filled with these pictures with Roman Reigns' eyes and mouth cut out, which was super freaking creepy, and I liked it a lot. I dug it. And I told you guys immediately, that's the kind of stuff that The Undertaker used to do in 1992 that got me involved as a wrestling fan. It makes me check out for a minute from the reality of things and enjoy a storyline. So I'm enjoying this Bray Wyatt Roman Reigns thing. I think this is going to be good for both men. Guys, what do you think about this angle that's going on?
I love it. I mean, it's great. The match has to deliver, which I'm sure will be a decent match. I got to be honest. The bigger question for me is, what the hell are these guys doing at SummerSlam? And
they're having a match.
And you think that we get part 2 at SummerSlam with these guys?
I think it's got to go another. I think it can't just be this one.
I don't know, Adam. What do you think?
I think it's a one and done. I think Reigns wins, and it's a shame because, like every Bray Wyatt storyline, Bray Wyatt's carrying the entire storyline just to lay down, which obviously he's the heel, so he's going to. But I don't know. I think it's a one and done shot.
Right. I love that people forget about that. That's the job of the heel. That's literally the job of the heel. Make people hate you. Carry the feud as far as bringing heat and desire to the feud. Get one up on the babyface the week before you're about to get put down, and then put the other guy over in the big match. That's what a heel's supposed to do. Don't get mad that Bray Wyatt's the heel in this and that he's doing his job. Don't be surprised that he's doing his job. Roman Reigns isn't supposed to be out there cutting promos on Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt's supposed to be out there cutting promos on Roman Reigns, and that's exactly what we're getting.
And did you notice
on the internet.
did you notice that it, like, as many times as they try to incorporate people's families, whether it was like Eddie and Mysterio, or you know, Punk, Mysterio, whoever's family's involved, there was just something different about Bray Wyatt, just because it added to the element, because his character is so unique and different than anything we've ever seen before, like when the Undertaker used to do it, you know. And I think anybody else in that position, it's a ho-hum storyline. Okay, where are they going? And I think Bray Wyatt doing it gives it that shock value of, I want to see how creepy this can get.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of like Haunted Mansion and horror and all that, like anything spooky. Again, is the reason as a 7-year-old kid, Undertaker was my favorite wrestler. Like that's one of the reasons I got into it. It was super creepy. Paul Bearer freaked me out as a kid, dude. So I love it. And I hope that Roman gets a shot here tonight to cut a promo. Obviously, I don't want it to be a lengthy promo or anything that has to go really in depth. But I want to see something between them again. I don't know if they're actually gonna bring Roman's daughter into the match at all, or anything like Rey Mysterio's kid being involved in the ring. But just the imagery and the symbolism of what the pictures mean and all that kind of stuff. It's awesome, absolutely awesome. I love it, and I hope that it continues. And the reason I think that it possibly could go to another pay-per-view is Bray Wyatt. It's not about wins and losses, and I've said this from day one. He doesn't need a championship, and he doesn't ever have to win matches. He really doesn't. When's the last time he's won a pay-per-view match in a feud that's meant something, or a big-time feud like with Taker or Cena? He doesn't win them. So I could see, they want to keep Reigns as the polished guy that's getting strong and running through people, but at the same time, Bray Wyatt needs to be in more matches, in my opinion. At least be in more matches on Raw and SmackDown where we see him win, like single-handedly, like flawlessly. That he gets it's flawless victories over. I don't want to see Bray Wyatt and R-Truth again, but somebody like Miz and somebody like Ziggler and upper mid card guys. Hell, just take out Sheamus once even. I don't care. He's just Money in the Bank. Make Wyatt relevant on TV where he can punish these people and then get beat by the babyface.
I think he's going to lay down for Reigns at Battleground. I think you're going to get Wyatt and Orton at SummerSlam, and that's where he gets a good win. He gets a good win over a good babyface, and I think that would be great for Bray Wyatt. And I'll tell you what, I think a Wyatt-Orton feud, mind game-wise, would be fantastic. I really do. I think it would be great.
I think we're getting Sheamus Orton for SummerSlam.
Yeah, I mean, if they choose to pick up where they left off, yeah, but, I mean, that doesn't mean anything in WWE logic terms. I want to say this before we wrap up. The Diva stuff, Doug, I don't want to spend much time talking about it because they haven't warranted us talking about it, but they got to inject something fresh soon. They keep alluding to, all right, someone's going to step up to the plate and go against the Bellas to help Paige. They got to pull the trigger. You cannot draw this out another 2 weeks. You can't.
Woo!
Whether it's Charlotte, who it's 99.9% going to be, whether it's Bayley, whoever it is, you got to pull the trigger now. It has to happen. You can't draw this out 2 more weeks because nothing is happening. It can't be a surprise at Battleground. Oh, Paige is like, guess who my mystery partner is? Give me a reason to care.
Woo! Yeah, no, it's got to. Wow! It's got to be Charlotte. And I'll tell you why it has to be Charlotte. Because no one else is going to make this. Like no one else other than AJ Lee, who's not coming back, is going to make any kind of interest in this feud other than bringing up Charlotte. Nobody. And when I have done when I've made the Battleground card, it's on Wrestling Rumors. I know you can go look at it. One of the rumored matches is the Bellas versus Paige and Charlotte. I don't see why or how it can't be unless they allow Paige to get massacred in a 2-on-1 handicap match again at Battleground, and then Charlotte comes up for a tag match at SummerSlam. But I don't think it's going to happen that way. I think we're going to get the tag match at Battleground, which leads to a Divas Championship match at SummerSlam. I think they're going to put the Divas title on the line on August 23rd. But it has to be Charlotte. It can't be Bayley. She's not ready. Can't be Sasha Banks unless they're going to bring up Sasha Banks with the NXT Women's Championship that they have with the NXT title as a face, as she's the biggest heel women's wrestler in the NXT ranks, which would be super weird. But again, on the main roster, there are no heels and faces when it comes to the Divas. If you bring up Sasha Banks because Nikki Bella that's the only other thing that I could think of is because Sasha Banks has the title, and they want to put that title on television so people know that there's a title holder with the whole NXT thing. And Nikki Bella is calling out Sasha Banks on her social media and the arena, telling her she wants a match to unify both belts. I could see them planting the seeds for Sasha Banks being the girl. But it only makes sense. Again, that's WWE logic, is that Sasha Banks comes up as a face. That's WWE logic. That's why I'm saying it's probably more than likely the one that's going to happen. Sasha Banks comes up as an NXT champion and women's champion and tags with Paige. That's WWE logic. Normal human being logic says it's Charlotte, and that she should come up either this week or next week. Maybe the go home show to spark interest.
Maybe it's your girl Dana Brooke.
I can't say that. Like it hurts to watch her. Like it's atrocious to watch. You
could put an outside chance at Becky Lynch, but it's gonna be Charlotte. It's gonna be Charlotte.
Yeah.
And it just, to me, and I don't know how you feel, Adam, but it has to happen now. It has to.
I feel like it has to, but I know how they are, and I feel like they're going to drag this till SummerSlam because they don't care about the division. I think it would make it more interesting.
But Triple H does care about the division.
He does, but nobody at the top does, and ultimately SummerSlam is Vince's show, and that's I think it's troublesome when Vince said at WrestleMania weekend, oh, we got to get this Charlotte girl up. She's great. So, that's so troublesome anyway when it comes down to it, So I hope it's Charlotte. I think it's Charlotte. I think it's either going to be the week before or after Battleground and then leading up maybe until SummerSlam. Maybe she comes in at Battleground. I don't know, but I definitely think it's Charlotte.
Why is the Bird Girl with Rusev now?
Because they couldn't put her with the NWO.
Why is Beaker Ray? Why is that beak of Summer Rae handing a crutch to Rusev after Rusev is about to die out laughing on Raw last week when he fell? Did anybody see that in his face where he literally fell and went nose flare? He's about to lose it. And here comes Summer Rae, which shooting from the floor up to scan over her body, you're like, oh yeah, who is that? Oh damn it, it's Triple A, Triple Ray.
Brazzers.
Got such a Triple H nose. What are they doing here? Why are the blondes are interchangeable, Vince?
It's nice.
Blondes are interchangeable, Vince.
It's nice legs versus nice legs. That's how they're putting it. But outside of that,
one has a nice everything, and one looks like a dodo bird has come out of extension.
Jesus Christ!
Whoa! Yeah, it's nice.
Seriously, man. Oh no, I mean, look, it's not gonna be a mixed tag unless they totally limit Lana's in-ring capabilities. If you were to do it, it happens at SummerSlam, and I don't know, maybe Lana rolls up.
Have a match with Lana and Summer Rae in it.
Oh no, you see, that's the thing, Doug. We can have a match with Lana and Summer Rae in it. We can.
WWE says yes. We say no. There's no way that should happen ever in the history of life, ever. But I'm sure we'll get more in this Rusev, Summer Rae, Lana, Dolph Ziggler drama soap opera tonight for no apparent reason. Which, if you haven't watched Swerved yet with Dolph Ziggler, that show's awesome. Because I was a big Jackass fan, so I'm a big Swerve fan instantly. All right, so Raw goes live in 25 minutes. Chris Walter will be live tweeting on the Wrestling Rumors at WrestleRumors Twitter account. Make sure you're there. He's going to be putting some, I'm sure, entertaining things up for you. Lots of Lots of images, lots of GIFs, and lots of memes. I'm sure will hit the Twitter waves, if you will, and of course be all over the Twitter machine. You can catch Adam and Sam. I'm assuming Sam will be with you later.
Yes. Yeah.
Hey,
So,
hey.
Hey, what? I'm doing a rundown. I will get you in a second.
I'm sorry. No. Raw's in DC tonight, and Raw's in DC tonight, and Finn Balor tweeted an Instagram of him at the White House.
Yeah. Okay. So go ahead and assume and get ready that Finn Balor is going to try to answer the U.S. Open Challenge. Kevin Owens is going to squash it. Kevin Owens should literally come out and be like, no, you can't do an Open Challenge. We have a booked match for that title.
Just like that. No.
No.
He should be like, whoa, what are you doing?
No! Yeah, John Cena will start singing it with him because we know how much John Cena loves that theme song. You can catch Adam and Sam Daly right after Raw, right here on WrestlingRumors.net for the Raw review show. They're going to break down everything that happened and keep us previewing Battleground as it happens in just under 2 weeks, or just over 2 weeks, actually. And, of course, John Alba at John Alba now. I don't even have to say SFC. That's big stuff that's gone down over the last 2 weeks and we haven't been here. John got his actual name as his new Twitter handle.
Shocking. You
finally got that guy to give it up, huh?
Jesus, man, I'll tell you, the amount of porn that guy tweeted out.
What'd you have to do?
I think the authorities got to it, man. Right, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So, smoke and mirrors, all that good stuff. This has been Wrestling Warm-Up. You can follow me at Doug O'Mac. You can follow us at WrestleRumors. And, of course, they'll be live tweeting all throughout the program. And then I think, actually, and since you're watching, anybody that watches comes to us for live results, there will not be live results for any shows over the next 2 weeks. There will be results immediately after the shows. Our boy Thomas Hall, who does live results for every single event and in every promotion, he's just an insane machine, is taking a 2-week vacay in the UK to be with his lady friend. So, Thomas, we love you, buddy. We know that you watch. Thank you for all that you do for us. And, results will be up when they're up. And if you are mad that there's not live results on our page when shows start, then I will tell you to pay us the funds that make me be on my computer throughout the entire 3 hours.
We got one word for you.
We don't get paid, buddy. It's all for you. So pay our salaries, and maybe we'll be more. It's the same thing. I had so many people tweeting, and I just want to hit this nail on the head too. I'm sure Frank will enjoy the fact that I'm doing this, but I had so many people last week while I'm on vacation with my family send me dirty tweets and emails about the fact that we didn't do a pre-show last Monday night. You don't pay my salary. I don't care what you say. We come to you. You would bring traffic to your site. The site doesn't pay me money. You don't pay me money. And I'm going to go on vacation with my family and enjoy time with my wife. That's what I'm going to do on vacation. I'm not going to make sure that I have everything with me to do this show for you. I love you. I do it tonight because I love you, but not on vacation when I need time away from all of you.
Wait, Ed just won. He just tweeted at me, "Whoa! Finn Balor as a demon tonight!
As a demon tonight!" Pay our salaries. We'll do it every week.
Nice job.
That's how that goes. But until that happens, we'll be here when we can be for you loyal viewers. Thank you for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.